Truthfully, if you told me that I would go from working in Vogue to vitamins, I would never have believed you. But then when I step back and think about our mission, it's also kind of a no-brainer that I ended up here.
Hey friends, welcome to Keep It Simple Sexy. I'm Christine Bullock, founder of KO Body Care, certified fitness trainer, and mom of 3 little girls who's just trying to juggle it all and feel as good as possible, all while helping you do the same. I'm so grateful that you're here. Now let's get started, sexy. This episode is brought to you by KO Body Care, the leader in face-grade body care and supplements for total body wellness. Hello, sexy mamas. I'm excited for our guest today. When it comes to motherhood, there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. So why should your vitamins be? And that's what Alex Taylor, the co-founder and co-CEO of women's wellness brand Perelel, set forth to solve. She became a self-proclaimed wellness buff after navigating her own thyroid diagnosis, and she was also no stranger to products with a purpose after years of working in the fashion and wellness space. But she first grew intimately aware of the lack of transparency and education available in the prenatal vitamin market when she was pregnant with her first child and began customizing a prenatal regimen for herself. Searching for a solution, she launched Perelel, the first only OB-GYN founded vitamin brand that meets you wherever you are on your journey as a mom. Perelel is pioneering a new standard for supporting women with vitamins for every stage of their reproductive life cycle. Previously, Alex served as president and an executive editor-in-chief for Click Media, maintained roles at Vogue, Rogers & Cohen, L'Oreal, Google, and Urban's Free People. She's been recognized on Forbes 30 Under 30. Alex is a graduate of USC with a dual degree in journalism and creative writing, and she resides in Los Angeles with her husband, her 2 kiddos, and her golden doodle. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm such a fan of yours, and this podcast is amazing. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alex. That's so sweet. And we're twinning today if you guys go to
We
the
are.
YouTube.
We are.
I'm really into suit jackets right now. I'd like, even for my coffee run over pajamas, like I throw them on because I feel like it fancies it up a little bit. Or I feel like
100%.
normal at least, you know.
I know. I had one of those mornings where I woke up and I was like, I don't know what to wear. So I just did the whole all black, throw in a blazer, call it a day thing. So it works.
We look very New York today. Well,
Yes,
thank you for coming to the show with your little kids. How old are your kids now?
So my daughter's almost 2 and my son is almost 4.
Oh, see, you're in it too.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have any more? Or is there a question? Are you open?
No, I mean, we always envisioned our family with 3 children. I think it's because both my husband and I are middle children of 3, which is kind of funny that we ended up together. But yeah, I don't know though, because you don't know what you don't know. And in this stage of my life, I'm feeling like my family's actually really complete and I feel really good. But maybe in a couple years when I'm past these, the terrible 2s, I'll feel otherwise. But for right now, I feel like I feel a sense of completeness, which is actually really wonderful. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have a 3rd.
We felt that way too as well, but we weren't even at the terrible 2s yet. We hit it after we had the 3rd one. So we're in this wonderful land of baby terrible 2s and 5-year-olds. So
chaos.
Yes,
Exactly.
but that is motherhood. And you know what?
If
for the people that, the viewers that are tuning in that are younger or are not mothers, this is still for you because this is a brand all about just a woman's needs in vitamins and, supplementation and again, in women's healthcare, not being provided before. So women taking it,
Yeah.
And
I think also
creating
just
themselves.
I think also just owning your reproductive health. I think something that I learned early on with Perelel through my own experience was that I inhabit this female body, and I knew very high level how it worked, but it wasn't until it was maybe too late or I was in the throes of my fertility journey or my pregnancy that I started to really understand, first of all, how my body works, what my reproductive health needs are. And I think that there's an opportunity to educate yourself early and often, especially if you envision a family in your future.
I think that's great too, because I hear, having been through fertility issues myself and people have followed along this journey, I actually hear from so many younger women and they're like, I'm scared, I'm scared. And I'm like, first of all, don't be scared and don't put that energy out there.
Yes.
But I think you with knowledge is power. And
Agreed.
so the younger that we understand what we need, the better off we are. And so
Mhm.
let's go back into your journey into motherhood that you've
Yes.
mentioned. And how did this all lead to you launching your wellness company?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, if you told me that I would go from working in Vogue to vitamins, I would never have believed you. I was at this dinner the other night, and a bunch of founders had to go around and share something that our younger selves would be surprised with. And, for me, it's that I'm a co-founder of a vitamin company. But then when I step back and think about our mission, I have a strong passion for advocacy, for health and justice. And so when I think about what I really value, it's also kind of a no-brainer that I ended up here. So, um, yeah, my journey really started as it relates to Perelel, when my husband and I decided that we would actually never be ready to have kids. But we decided we knew we saw a future with kids. So it really started when, my husband and I we just accepted that there was no perfect time to start a family. And it was almost that moment that allowed us to kind of jump off and start to explore, what expanding our family would look like. Of course, being, a millennial that loves a good, pat on the back, gold star. I went to my doctor to make sure, I got all the tests done and I was healthy and all the things. And, I heard, yes, you are, just try. So we started to try and we went on that journey. And through that experience, obviously, my journey was a little bit more winding than I had expected. I think everyone's journey is different, and that's something we really need to normalize. I think
Mhm.
I grew up, I think a lot of us grew up in a world where, our mothers and grandmothers didn't share the challenges, the highs, the lows, the sideways and in betweens that are part of this experience of motherhood and start before you even become a mother. So we were on our winding road, and during that journey, I grew up in LA. I've been very privileged because of the work I do to have access to amazing doctors and practitioners. And so I had this care team that involved an incredible endocrinologist and my OB-GYN, as well as a naturopath, functional medicine doctor. And I would go to acupuncture regularly, and my acupuncturist was also an herbalist. So I started to put together this routine to optimize my health for fertility. And I was taking handfuls of pills that I was sourcing from all over and really piecing this together myself. And again, being a millennial who wants everything to be as efficient and easy as Amazon and Uber, I was like, wait, why am I putting this together myself? And I felt a bit frustrated. And as I went through my pregnancy, I continued to adjust and adapt the vitamins I was taking to align with my needs and my baby's needs,
Mhm.
um, as my in my first trimester, I was really sick. I needed to add B6 and ginger. And as I moved into, later my third trimester, I knew that, I had learned that baby was building teeth and bones and needed more calcium, but also I needed some magnesium because I needed to keep things moving. I was cramped. So I was experiencing all of this. And it was around this time that I met my co-founder, who really crystallized the idea and vision for Perelel. And it was really born out of her own experience too. So while I was kind of having this experience with the pill sorting and sourcing and piecing this together from all my doctors, she had a very different experience that led her to Perelel. And that was really born out of the birth of her daughter. Her first daughter was has a cleft lip, and she was told about this at her 20-week pregnancy scan.
Mhm.
And this specific type of cleft is oftentimes related to a nutritional deficiency, oftentimes specifically folate or folic acid.
Mhm.
And of course, my co-founder, like anyone, just kind of goes into this place that, whether right or wrong, she started to really think about, was this my fault? Did I not check all the boxes? Did I take the wrong prenatal? Did I, was I eat clean? I use clean products. I'm very lucky to be able to do these things. How could this be nutritional related? And as she and her doctor started to dig in, it became very clear that the format and the timing of nutrients were really important. And while she'll never be able to pinpoint it exactly to that, it very much opened her eyes to the importance of timing of nutrients during a pregnancy. There's certain stages that you need a lot more of a nutrient and later you don't. And new nutrients need to be introduced later to adjust with those changing developments in baby and mom. And so my co-founder and I started connecting and sharing our grievances. And through this experience, we both just obviously came to it through very different, paths. But we realized, oh my God, there's this opportunity to just reinvent the prenatal vitamin. There's windows in packaging technology, obviously the ability to get nutrients into certain capsule types, et cetera. We thought, this is our opportunity. Why don't we create something that gives women exactly what they need when they need it, but also made by doctors? Because we looked at each other and we're like, I mean, neither of us have a PhD. We're business people. My co-founder is brilliant. She went to Harvard Business School. I'm from the other side of the tracks. I'm, a brand creative marketer.
Yeah.
But we looked at each other and we thought, but what we do relate to is the consumer and that experience, the frustration. There's oftentimes this experience where women go to their OB and they ask for a prenatal and the OB just kind of goes, well, take whatever you can stomach. And that's not really the best response, because there are nutrients that you really can do to support more positive and healthful outcomes for both yourself and your baby. So when we had this idea of creating a really targeted vitamin that optimized nutrients for mom and baby through each stage of the journey, from fertility through each individual trimester and even postpartum, we're like, okay, we need to talk to a doctor. So we had a very special relationship with the chief of obstetrics at New York Presbyterian and also the chief OB of Columbia University. And this is through Tori's relationship. And we called her up and we said, we have this crazy idea to create these really targeted vitamin routines, these little packets that put everything you need into a little packet for each stage. But that way we know women can get exactly what they need in the right doses. They're not taking too much, causing body burden. Is this crazy? Is this a good idea? And her eyes lit up and she said, this is needed. You must do this. And it was such a grounding moment. Mm-hmm. And to hear this from, without a doubt, she is one of the most esteemed OBs in the nation, if not the world, just put wind in our sails to know that we had to go forward. So she actually helped us put together an incredible team of doctors that came on board as founding advisors. We also brought on an official medical co-founder who is a incredible holistic OB-GYN, actually based here in Santa Monica on the west side with us. She was also Tori's OB, so she was very much part of that journey with Tori. Mm-hmm. And we pulled together these doctors, and what's really fascinating is we have some of the most pedigreed Western medicine doctors, maternal fetal medicine doctors, reproductive endocrinologists, and then we have registered dietitians, but we also have a functional medicine doctor, a naturopath. We have an incredible doula. And together, this team of Eastern and Western medicine doctors come together to formulate all of our products. And that really is reflective of how today's consumer is seeking out medical support. They really want a holistic approach. So these doctors are entirely responsible for the formulation of our products. Everything is based on very extensive medical research, but what's really unique is they bring their clinical insights. All of our doctors are still practicing, still publishing, very active, and they bring in their clinical experience and information that really adds a very unique peg to Perelel. So, for example, they started seeing that many of our OBs and reproductive endocrinologists started seeing that many women were having misdiagnosed thyroid disorders during pregnancy. It was actually a byproduct of women taking too much biotin. So they omitted biotin entirely from all of our prenatal vitamins. And they also required—
Was it like a false response based on the biotin that made it look like a thyroid, or it really was messing with the thyroid?
it would actually make it look like a false positive in terms of what was, so it was pretty fascinating. And that actually then applied to we have a general women's multi. I can share all the products with you, but we also have a product that's for, if you're not pregnant or on your journey, but they took those insights to also apply to the dosage of biotin in our women's multi, because women are severely overdosing themselves with biotin. And there's actually no clinical research that really supports that impact to your hair, skin, and nails beyond a certain dose. And it can, again, throw off your lab results. So there's all these nuances in terms of the format of the ingredients. And I love nerding out about this, but it's pretty fascinating. So that's really unique to our products. And we pulled them together to create all of the products. They also come to us to tell us where they see gaps and where women really need support. So, for example, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, affects over 5 million women here in the U.S.
I have it.
Okay, so you're familiar.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. Yeah, we've had a couple specialists on the podcast as well.
Yeah, and so that can also be something that really impacts fertility or even your general lifestyle. And so that product was really born out of our doctors seeing that supplementation has been deeply researched to support and manage the symptoms associated with PCOS. So we developed that product. So the doctors do everything on the product side. And then my role is really to create the brand and the content and really connect with the consumers and build awareness. So I oversee the content, brand, and marketing side. And then my co-founder, Tori, is the whiz behind our finance and logistics, getting the product made, all of that jazz. So we all have our different roles, and it's been working. It's been really incredible just to see how people receive the brand.
The Keep It Simple Sexy podcast is brought to you by KO Body Care. Uh-oh, guys, I'm going to fill you in on something. My pants are fitting a little tight today. Have you guys ever felt the same, a little bloated, ate something that didn't mix well with your tummy? Well, I'm going to let you in on my personal hack. KO Body Care's clean plant-based supplement, Bloat Be Gone, and it will be gone. As the founder and CEO of KO, we spent so long getting these formulas perfect, and this one really works instantly. Our customers are just as obsessed with it as I am. What I love about this one is that it soothes bloating and digestive discomfort fast while healing over time. So I always slip this one in my purse when I'm going out to dinner, and that way I can throw it in some water, drink it, and feel great. Try it out for yourself and see the bloat and discomfort start to disappear, leaving you feeling your best. Head to kobodycare.com and use our code KISS20 for 20% off your first purchase. It's absolutely amazing, and you can tell that it's been needed because you launched in 2020, correct?
We did, yeah. So we actually decided on January 1st, 2020 that we were going to do this. We had been incubating and exploring the idea for some time. And then we were like, oh, this is really an expensive company to launch because we need to launch with all 5 SKUs. We launched with a product that supports anyone trying to conceive called Conception Support, a product for each trimester, our first trimester pack, second trimester pack, third trimester pack. And we launched with our Mom Multi, which is specifically for postpartum women or anyone with children under 3. You have it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad that I had it this time around, and hearing you talk about how important the ingredients and the quality and the quantity is during each stage actually makes me so sad that I didn't have it for my 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And was on a great brand of prenatal that also, like, I have the MFDR gene, with the folate and all of it. So, like, I knew I was on a good one, but yes, now looking at and hearing all of that, it makes me so sad for baby.
But I think, like, in retrospect, we do the best we can with what we have, right? And I think that it's not meant to, like, incite fear or, oh my God, why didn't I do this? It's almost like our hope with Perelel is just to know that, our doctors have done all the heavy lifting with you so that when you pop your little, handful of pills, you've checked that box. Like, you've done the absolute best you can. And, of course, there's so much outside of our control. And again, we only have access to what is available. But that's really our hope, with Perelel, is just we can just take this guesswork out of it for you and just give you that reassurance that you've done what you can. So that's been, a big piece of what we're hoping to do with Perelel.
I love it. And one of your main missions is to simplify and empower, a
Mhm.
woman's approach to wellness.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what you're doing here. You can see, like, we're on the YouTube.
Yeah.
I have a little box here, and it's so easy. It's just in my pantry with the rest, and you just pull it out. It's a little sachet, and that's your
Mhm.
full vitamin pack,
Yep.
depending on what stage you're at.
Yeah.
It That simplifies it really
It
easy, because
does.
if you've taken it for the day, it's got, what you need.
Yep.
Let's dive into that, though,
Yeah.
for the stages a bit. And you
Mhm.
mentioned a little bit about it, but I really
Mhm.
want to dive in and get some tips for women of, like, so let's first start with the conception,
Yes.
because I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be back at that stage again, and I should be on that
Yeah.
instead of postnatal. But we could all use this. Is this
Mhm.
something that, even without conception, what are you doing for women that are fully done with pregnancy then too? Is that something you can go back on? Because it just seems like your body would be super healthy.
Yeah. So for those that are not on the motherhood track or
Mhm.
not there yet or have finished that chapter, we have a product called our Women's Daily Vitamin Trio.
Oh, yes.
It's a
Of
trio because
course.
it's
Yeah.
three little pills that really
Yeah.
cover what any woman of reproductive age needs to support her. So it has a multivitamin, it has a beauty blend because women are seeking that out, but the dosage is taking into account what's in the multivitamin. It also has an omega so that you're supported there as well. So we have that product that's really a bridge product for any woman that is premenopausal but also menstruating.
Yeah.
So we have that product to really support all women. But as far as our conception support product goes, that product was for each of our products, I should mention, we typically have a kind of like lead doctor on that product who runs the lead on the formulation and then pulls in the rest of the doctors for their inputs, feedback, etc. So our conception support was actually formulated by two incredible reproductive endocrinologists. They have worked with some really amazing Oscar winning women. Like they have an incredible group of women that they've worked with. And we essentially kind of took they put together their vitamin protocol and put it into this product. So our conception support is made for anyone who is thinking about in the imminent future or actively trying to conceive.
Mhm.
This product has an incredible full spectrum prenatal vitamin, so a really super multivitamin, basically. It has an omega with DHA and EPA. That's really important, and I'll talk about that later when we go through the pregnancy suite. It also has a CoQ10 in it. So CoQ10 is a really strong antioxidant. Um, it can help with ovulation, but also egg quality. And then it also has methylfolate. This is really important. You mentioned that you have the MTHFR
Mhm.
gene,
I
which
know, I
does.
never say it right. That's how you say
It's
it.
okay. It's very confusing. I know.
I get
Yeah.
so many things. I'm like, whatever.
It's okay. You've got a lot. You have three babes. Like enough said. So that means that when people have that gene, um, if you have that, essentially it means that your body is unable to methylate folic acid and transform it into methylfolate, which is the more bioavailable format. So we actually use the more bioavailable format, L5-methylfolate, to ensure that anyone that does have the MTHFR gene is able to properly put that to use. And about 60% of women have that gene. So check your vitamin bottle and make sure you're taking the appropriate type of folate.
And I think I remember reading, even if you don't have that gene, sometimes it's harder to get pregnant. Sometimes
Mhm.
people are just, like, not absorbing the other folate as well, and
Yes,
so your body knows not to get pregnant.
it
And
is.
until I
Mhm.
switched, that was one main thing that I had to
Yeah.
switch, and I ended up getting pregnant even with
Wow.
PCOS. Yeah.
Yeah, folic acid is technically a synthetic form of folate. So your body does have to work a lot harder to put it to use or make it bioavailable. So that makes a
Mhm.
lot of sense. Our conception support has an increased amount of that because the methylfolate is so important to the neural tube development, and that typically happens within the very, very early days of pregnancy when you don't even know you're pregnant. So those first 5 to 9 weeks are really crucial to the brain and the spinal cord development. So that folate is in there for that specific reason.
Mhm.
So that's our conception support. Then we have a product for each unique trimester of pregnancy. We have obviously first, second, third trimester packs. And each of those have not only nutrients that optimize for where the fetus or baby is developing, but also for what mom's needs are. Many vitamins forget about mom,
I don't know
like,
one that does, to be perfectly honest.
like we were thinking about like, okay, this is what baby needs. And then my co-founder would sit there and be like, we had all these crazy symptoms. We had all these experience, like there's constipation, there's, muscle cramping, there's, there's nausea, there's moodiness. Like there's all these things that actually have been very much proven to be supportive through supplementation. And so our doctors took that into account for the formulation process. So our first trimester pack has added B6 and ginger and an increased amount of folate. Our second and third trimester packs have less folate because you don't need as much. But the second trimester pack has magnesium as well as calcium. And the third trimester pack has increased amounts of magnesium and calcium, but it also has a probiotic, which is really important. It really helps prepare the gut and also nipple flora for birth. And, we've heard this probably a dozen times, but your baby inherits your gut health.
Yeah.
So it's really important to nurture that. So each product is really differentiated to support mom and baby through each chapter. And then we have our mom multi, which I still take. My daughter is 2, my youngest is 2. And I was really surprised when we were developing this product because we were almost going to call it our 4th trimester pack. And we were almost going to call it our postpartum pack. But what was so surprising was that our OBs all said, no, we want women taking a prenatal vitamin for a couple years after birth, up to 3 years. Your body is so depleted. Think about what you had to do to create this little being. And, your nutrient stores have been stripped and depleted. And then those first few years of life are extremely taxing. You're not getting a lot of sleep. You might not be taking as good of care of yourself with, your fitness or diet. And so your nutritional demands are actually exceptionally high during those first 2 to 3 years. So
I trained under a doula too, and they said it takes 3 years for a woman to fully repair hormonally.
Right.
Like sometimes people are like, you're back, and you think, no, it really does take a long time.
Yes.
So it's okay for the, ebbs and flows that you're going to go through too.
That's exactly what our co-founder, Dr. Biotin, said. She said it takes at least 3 years. And that really stopped us in our tracks. So we called this last product our Mom Multi. And it has obviously the core prenatal multivitamin in it. It has an omega with DHA and EPA. And I want to go back and mention why DHA and EPA are really important for anyone that's listening that is pregnant or thinking about this chapter. Make sure you find a prenatal that has omega DHA with EPA. It's absolutely vital because in order for the DHA to cross the placenta and actually support your baby, it needs EPA. So a lot of these ingredients need another ingredient to help them do their job better and to get to where they need to go in very simple terms. So I definitely encourage everyone to make sure you find a prenatal that does that, but also that combination allows those 2 ingredients to be more bioavailable that also have other benefits to support your mood. I mean, think about those early postpartum days. Your body goes through the most massive change hormonally, psychologically, physically. There's a lot happening. So there's a lot of support in this last pack. Also in our Mom Multi, we have a heavier handed stress support formulation. That combines ashwagandha and L-theanine. So this was really neat because our Western medicine doctors really had to take this into consideration when the other side of the table was saying, this has really been effective. And it was really beautiful to see them agree on that and put that into our product. And then we also have a beauty blend capsule because again, we're all losing our hair, our skin's crazy, nails are brittle. So this, that capsule really helps rebuild and promote healthy hair, skin, and nails. So I love our Mom Multi. I take it. It also has added iron. I'm vegetarian, so I always need a little more iron in my life, but it's a really great product. But oftentimes when someone's kind of past those postpartum days or those first few years, they move on to our women's trio. Or if they're going to go for, another babe, they'll go back to conception support. So those are our core SKUs, but we've also launched some other products that were really important to us. our mission at Perelel is to create a world with more healthy, supported women. And one of the ways that we can do that is taking the guesswork out of their nutritional and reproductive health needs. And
I think that's
we,
the only way to stay consistent,
yeah.
It's that if it's too much, I mean, because that's how I had to heal my health too, is that I was seeking a slew of doctors, and I'm like, or you're listening to podcasts maybe, and you're hearing these ingredients and you're getting them, and then you're trying to take it. One's in a tea, you're boiling some bark and herbs from your acupuncturist.
Yes.
You are, taking some random vitamins, but your DHA is completely separate, right? Then you're CoQ10, then you're this, then you're that. And it's like, you can't stay consistent with all of it. So what you've done so well is just take the guesswork out of truly what basically we need. And then on top of it, we hear of collagens and this and that and ceramides and blah and hyaluronic acid. Those are like, the cherries on top of what you're, but you need your basics first, and you will optimally, you're going to have the best skin, the best hair, all these kind of beauty needs too, because you're creating that foundation that the body needs.
That's exactly it. I mean, we wanted to simplify everyone's vitamin routine. I mean, people like me were pill sorting, my husband would make fun of me because he'd open our medicine cabinet and there was just like slews of different vitamins. He's like, how do you even know this is legit? How do you know these like go together?
Morning, midday, nighttime, right? I have some up there and some down here in the kitchen.
So it's really like your whole vitamin routine, all your bases covered. But the other thing that was really important to us was to, the products we see on shelves really reaffirms and can normalize different experiences for us. And here at Perelel, we believe that any human experience is mentionable and worthy and needs support. And, there are some experiences on the motherhood journey that we don't talk about so openly and don't have products that explicitly support you. And there are experiences that can really benefit from supplementation. So we launched 2 new products pretty recently. One is made for anyone who is undergoing the egg freezing process, or IVF. So it's called our Egg Freeze Support Pack. It was formulated by 2 of the biggest experts on the matter, to really support any woman that is on that journey. And while, of course, it's a small market, it's the right thing to do. There's people that really need that support, and we have the ability to put together that routine for them. And then the other product that is really near and dear to my co-founder was the launch of our Recovery Support Pack. And this is a pack that is formulated for anyone that has experienced any type of fetal loss. So it could be early or late stage miscarriage, stillbirth, what have you, any type of that loss. And it's something that you can take to really recuperate, recover, and restore yourself. We forget that women that experience stillbirth are still postpartum.
Yeah.
They're struggling with a lot of those challenges, or, wherever you might be. So we really wanted to create a product that supports her and also normalizes it. It's unfortunately part of the experience. And so we had to create something that really supported them. My co-founder, when we were actually building Perelel, miscarried. And I'll never forget when she called me. I'm going to cry.
I know.
When she called me to, talk about her experience, and it felt it's so isolating. It's so sterile. You like, if, you're miscarrying, you have to go into like a CVS and buy pads, and it's just like so impersonal. And, we wanted to create a space where women could feel supported and seen, even if it's just, a package that we can give them or a space to connect with other women. So we launched that product too.
That's amazing. I want to say though too, because you can tell your co-founder. When we launched KO, we were on the Home Shopping Network, and we were flying to Orlando, and it was like the first time I found out I was pregnant after 5 years of fertility not working, adopting our daughter, all that. And I finally had found out I was pregnant. And I started to miscarry as soon as I got on the plane. And I was like, okay, I hope I'm not going to check. So I was miscarrying. Now there's a humor about it. Like, it's just like, but I feel for her as you're building something, having gone through that loss as well. And that's amazing. And I had like 2 others after that same year. And you need, and mine were early on,
Mine
you
too,
still
yeah.
need support for that. Like your
Mhm.
body's rapidly changed and then
Mhm.
is suddenly kind of at this like loss. And
Yeah,
there isn't anything on the market to just supplementally
nothing.
guide a woman of what those needs are to
Exactly,
help
and
her repair
so,
faster.
again, we're just like, "Let's support her, let's do
Mhm,
what's right and create this
mhm,
product," so we just
mhm.
launched that, and we have a
That's
few
great.
other products that really allow women to just further personalize their needs, because our
Mhm.
whole approach is that there are very specific black and white standards of what women need through each of these stages, so let's really base the baseline nutritional on that, and then if someone is anemic, they can add on our iron support for additional iron or what have you. So that's our product suite. And I want to
What
tell
do
you also, oh, go ahead.
what do you have for the PCOS then?
So we have PCOS support. So we created this incredible product, again, in part with all of our doctors. It's 2 pills twice a day, but it really simplifies for most people that have PCOS. There's a lot of bottles involved, a lot of sourcing, a lot of different things, getting the right ratio of, you know, inositol to dim. Like, it's a whole science, and our doctors have really simplified it. So it's a great product. Um, the reviews are in, and we've just had, so
Yay.
many women tell us, "You've changed my life," and it's pretty incredible to just hear that. I was at a dinner the other night, and one of the influencers we work with is taking it, and she's just like, "I literally cannot live without it. It has changed my life," and it was just such a humbling and cool thing to hear. So yeah,
It's
we have,
amazing how simple it can be. How long, women have struggled with certain
yeah,
things like this. There's
yeah.
been like nothing to help.
Completely, completely. So, yeah, we've really brought in our product suite since launch, and it's been quite a journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
So I kind of want to pivot a little bit here too, and because we're talking about motherhood as well.
Mhm, mhm,
What are, some tips that you have for the mamas managing it all out there? You're trying to simplify their life and the
mhm,
vitamins. I'm
mhm.
sure this is a main mission of your life. Do you have
Yes.
any tips for mommies in general for simplifying
Yeah,
too and taking care of themselves at the same time?
yeah. I'll share what worked for me.
Mhm.
It was a really honest acceptance that I can't do it all, and I have to figure out what I wanna do right now and figure out what I can do later, and be ruthless with my prioritization. You know, I I'm ruthless with my time. It's like,
Mhm.
if this isn't supporting the things that are most important to me, then unfortunately I won't be able to spend any time or give it any bandwidth. Even the quietness in my head as I drive, if it's not productive to, how I can be better to myself, to my family, to my colleagues and my business, to the mission that I've, set forth to build, then I can't spend time there. So someone shared an analogy with me a while ago. Um, and it was this. It was, in life, some balls are, you're juggling a lot of balls. And some of those balls are plastic and some are glass. So for me, my glass balls are, my family, my kids. Another glass ball is, there's some pieces of parallel that, like, I can't drop. And you have to decide, like, which balls can occasionally be dropped and make sure they're the plastic balls. Like, okay, like, I didn't do a super cute, like, family Halloween costume. Like, let that ball drop. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be fine. Like,
Oh.
but was I there for my son's Halloween parade? You betcha. Like, so it's really being ruthless with your prioritization and really understanding, like, which balls can bounce back and which, you know, are glass and may shatter. And I think that I keep that analogy in my head all day, every day, because there's never enough hours in the day. There's so much on everyone's plates these days. The digital world makes everything move so quickly. And it can be really overwhelming, but that really helps me go slow and be really thoughtful in my work and my time. So that's what's worked for me.
I absolutely love that because I feel like I'm going through the same thing right now
Mhm.
too. And I'm not even a perfectionist, but I
Yeah.
like to put a lot of myself into each thing that I'm going to do.
Yes,
And like you're saying
absolutely.
with like the Halloween costumes,
Yeah.
and now the holidays are coming up, and I'm
Yes.
like, am I hosting Christmas? And I'm like, you know what? My husband's like, this year, just order.
Yeah.
just order food. So,
That's what
I
I'm
was
doing
like,
for
really? We could
Thanksgiving.
do that? Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm
exactly.
hosting Thanksgiving and
That's
while,
the
like
plastic ball.
yeah, like, of course, I'd love to, like, make this beautiful meal, like,
Yeah.
it's just not possible. Can I make a really pretty tablescape and invite everyone over and we do a potluck?
Yeah.
Yes, I can do that. So I'm trying to figure out, like, where I can really be successful and set myself up to be, to deliver on, like, the standards that I wanna, deliver
Mhm.
and support, and also, like, other areas, like, who am I doing this for? Does it
Yeah.
really matter? Is it as important? So,
They're
yeah,
gonna
it's a struggle.
Is the family gonna remember? But if you think about it too, if we're trying to, there's everybody talks about balance all the time. And let's say
Mhm,
we're balancing our priorities.
mhm.
Well, nothing's really gonna grow in one area or the other if you're
Yeah,
really putting so much time into every aspect. You really have to
exactly.
fully concentrate on the things
Yeah,
that are the most important to you for those
absolutely.
to grow,
Yeah,
you know,
and it's
while
all
we
seasonal,
yeah.
like, life comes in seasons, like, I'm in a season right now where I'm a startup founder and I have little kids,
And little kids.
and, like,
Oh, I don't know
that's
anything about
yeah,
that.
like, you might be able to relate.
Yeah,
But I know, like, this isn't forever either, so I
yeah,
need to really hang on to these moments with my little ones and enjoy the madness that is start of life and know that things will change, you know?
yeah.
So,
Yep. Do
yeah.
you have any tips for women that are in the stages of conception, obviously,
Mhm.
other than taking their supplements daily?
Mhm. Make sure your partner is taking care of themselves too. It is scientifically 50-50,
Maybe
and
that's one
that
thing
is
you guys have coming next.
well, we do. We do have that. We actually
That's
have a
amazing.
men's product. So
Mhm.
it's made to support men's fertility.
Oh,
It
that's
was
awesome.
developed by the foremost researcher on sperm health,
Mhm.
and it's not only a great product for fertility, but it's also, a great product for general men's health and wellness. So we do have that product. It's not our bread and
Done.
butter.
Getting it for Bob.
Well, we created it mostly because, again, like, the onus oftentimes falls on the female partner in a relationship, to support their partner, and so we thought, well, if she's here and she's gonna get something for herself, let's, like, take this off of her plate and make it easy to take care of her partner, if they're if in a heterosexual relationship, and even for 2 men, that are
Yeah.
together or what have you. So, yes, we do have a men's product too. So I
That's
definitely recommend get your husband on make sure your partner, pardon me,
mhm.
is taking care of themselves too, because
Mhm.
the success of, fertility and those outcomes are purely 50-50.
Does it matter what time of the day that you take your vitamins? Half the time I'll take them like even before bed because I know I have food in my belly and it's like a
Yeah.
time that I can remember.
I feel like the media love like, and this is because I feel like I can say this because I used to be in media, but I feel like the media loves to, like, come up with stories about the optimal time to take X, and, like, the bottom line is there's no optimal time to take your vitamins. So if you are a morning person and it sits better in your stomach, it's more about when can you tolerate it best.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a big breakfast, take your vitamins with breakfast. If you have a big dinner, take them with dinner. It doesn't really matter. But what is important is with at least any natural vitamin, clean vitamin like ours, that you do take it with food and a full glass of water, because we don't add, like, scary filler to make it more tolerable. It's just, an all natural vitamin. So when you take it with food, it's really easy. I take my vitamins in the morning with breakfast. My co-founder takes hers right before bed. So it's kind of whenever works for you.
I've even taken these in the morning without food and they're
Yeah.
very easy on the belly
They
still.
are.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
they are. We've been really developing that. In the early days, we found a way to get it to kind of digest lower so that it's still optimal bioavailability. So,
Aw.
yeah, we're constantly improving there. Yeah.
So what's ahead for you guys?
We're obsessing over this gap in women's health. I don't know if you're aware of this, but starting the late 1970s, women of reproductive age were omitted from clinical trials for many years. And there's a
Oh
huge
yeah.
gap in the depth of our medical knowledge, research, information as it relates to women's health. Many of the telltale signs that we know for heart attack are actually male specific.
Yeah.
I mean, much of the research we have today on health is because of clinical trials that were done on white men. Our bodies
Mhm.
are so different. And so we are dedicated to closing that gap here at Perelel. So with our we have a fund called our Fund Women's Health Fund. And we take a percentage of proceeds and donate that to different organizations that advance women's reproductive health research and advocacy. And then I also do want to share, we do have a built-in 1-for-1 with all of our motherhood products. So fertility, pregnancy, mom multi, we have a 1-for-1 where for every subscription, we actually donate a supply of our own prenatal vitamins, which is not inexpensive, but again, it's like the
I
right
was
thing
going to
to
say
do.
for everybody to know.
Yeah.
That
Like,
is a lot. It's
as a business.
basically, as you know, a
It's
small business too.
yeah.
You're basically just eliminating that one cost. So we need
Yep,
money to be able to produce high
we
quality and
do.
purchase high quality ingredients, put
Yep.
it all together.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not anything little. And just the donations as well.
Yeah. So we donate for every subscription a full supply of our prenatal vitamins, specifically to women here in the United States who lack access to high quality prenatal care. While there's many organizations that focus beyond our borders, which is really incredible, we've realized that, there's a need here in the US. 1 in 33 babies born in the United States are born with birth defects that are often nutrition related. And when you consider we're a first world country, you start to realize there's really this division in like access to healthful products and healthy food is expensive. Why organic food is more expensive is beyond me because it's like normal real food. The other stuff has like crazy stuff added to it. Anyway, that's another like rabbit hole we could go down. But but we just saw that there was such a need. So we've donated nearly $1 million worth of product since we launched. We partner with Baby to Baby as our distributor. They're amazing at getting the products to exactly who we need. In the early days, it was like me and Tori, my co-founder, calling up different organizations across the US to get the products to them. And Baby to Baby has been a great partner to just scale. So yeah, that's really our mission. And what we're doing is really to just support women's health and ensure that there are better outcomes for our health and for our babies as much as possible.
As we continue our discussion with Perelel's Alex Taylor, we're excited to share more information about Perelel and why they're reimagining targeted nutrition for pregnancy and beyond. Perelel is the first and only OB-GYN founded vitamin brand offering clean, targeted nutrition for each distinct stage of a woman's reproductive life cycle. Using exclusively high-quality ingredients and the most bioavailable formats, formulations are informed by the latest medical research coupled with the founder's clinical insights. Beyond an unparalleled product experience, subscribers are welcomed with a supportive community along with access to resources powered by Perelel's founding doctors and practitioners, known as the Perelel Panel. With Perelel, women can rest assured that they're getting exactly what they need when they need it most from the experts who know best. Perelel is on a mission to change the status quo that 1 out of every 33 babies in the United States is born with a birth defect by providing women with the exact nutrients they need in the right doses at the right time. To support that mission, Perelel has a 1-for-1 donation system to provide a supply of prenatal vitamins to underserved women for every new subscription. To date, Perelel has provided nearly $1 million worth of products in donations. And for every subscription to the Women's Daily Vitamin Trio, Perelel donates a percentage to support women's health research and advocacy. For more information, visit perelelhealth.com. That's PERELELHEALTH.com, Perelel Health, and use the code KISS15 for 15% off your first order. That's KISS15 for 15% off your first order. For all of our viewers, you realize that not only do you have a great quality, you have something that's going to simplify it for you, that's going to create that consistency for you, that, has something for each stage and is creating it specifically for each of those, but also is like giving back. So thank you guys. You guys are just truly such beautiful women and have such an amazing team too. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do.
You're so well spoken, and it was wonderful listening to you as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And
thank you
I
for
am
joining us.
so obsessed with your body lotion and your body serum. It has become my favorite, like truly one of my favorite steps of my beauty routine. The smell, first of all, is amazing. The serum is just so nice and lovely. The packaging, you have an amazing brand too. It's really great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's like our babies too. So it's always nice to hear. I appreciate that, Alex.
Yeah.
We always end on a speed round. And so
Okay.
I have 2 questions for you from the speed round questions.
Okay.
First of all, as a mommy of 2, I would love to know, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
I say a gratitude prayer.
Oh,
Yeah, before I even open my eyes, I lay there and I do I just made it up. I'm spiritual. I'm not super religious, but I have it sets the right intention for my day and grounds me in what's important. And I do that before I open my eyes. And then if my kids haven't woken up yet, I will do a quick meditation, typically 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'm in it.
Yes. That's why I ask you, because, so many people are like, I get up, I make this, I do this. I'm like, you don't have kids. You have little kids.
I'm lucky if I get a warm cup of coffee in the morning, and that's that. But that is my non-negotiable. It's like brushing my teeth. I got to do it every day.
I'm going to add that. After having the third, I lost some of my routines, and I'm just getting back to like my meditation, and maybe I'm doing it while I'm putting makeup on.
Yes.
But it's just needed.
Yes.
It's needed. It really sets the tone.
Yeah. I mean, I was just listening to I love that Huberman podcast, and he's doing a whole episode on meditation. I've been a long-term meditator, but I'm listening to it because he's taking a very scientific approach on the benefits. And it's amazing. Even meditating once a week or once a month has massive benefits. So even if you can't do it daily, there's a lot to it that's amazing that really can, neurologically shift your life.
Isn't it funny? Again, knowledge is power. When we're probably both science, I geek out on the science of stuff, and then you end up keeping it as a ritual because you really understand why you're doing it even more.
Exactly.
Well, now I'm going to tune into Huberman too.
Yeah.
What is your favorite self-care ritual?
I would say,
you're like so
honestly,
many, right?
There's so many. Well, they're 2 opposite things, and I think it depends on what I need in that moment.
Name them both.
Okay, so one is going on a hike by myself. I love being alone in nature. It is just my happy place. So that's when I feel like I need quiet and solitude. And then when I feel like I just need to be energized, I'm an extrovert. I need connection. It's just getting together with my girlfriends and laughing and being silly, and that's truly those are my 2 favorite forms of self-care, and they're free.
And they're like such a beautiful balance too. And I'm sure you're understanding your body when you need a little bit of each. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alex. I'm sure you guys are going to want to follow her and follow Perelel. So for Alex's Instagram, it's at its_Alex Taylor, ITS_ALEXTAYLOR. It's up on our YouTube if you guys need to find it. It'll be in our notes as well. And for Perelel Health, it's PERELEL Health. They have a Facebook page, Perelel Health. They have a TikTok, which I'm sure is really fun. And they're giving you an exclusive discount for our Keep It Simple Sexy viewers and audience. The code is KISS15 for 15% off your first order. That's KISS15 for 15% off your first order. We appreciate that. Our viewers really appreciate it. Of
course. Oh my goodness. If anyone tries it, please DM me. I'd love your feedback. And thank you so much.
I'm so excited for you. Thank you for joining us out of your busy day. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're subscribed, and feel free to share this with a friend or family who needs to hear it. Have questions you need answered? Text me at 1-310-361-8697. Make sure you follow me on social at Christine Bullock, and have a healthy, happy week. See you next time.